Chris Copper Kelley, and I've just been on the Keith Andrews Show. It was a great time, great topics. We got to speak about a variety of things and learned a little bit as we did. Thank you.
Ray Michael Quiroga. I'm the president of Dream Cinema Productions, and here on the Keith Andrews Show, which is had a lot of fun because I learned some things. I got to share some good times here with some good guys, and had a lot of fun. I hope I get invited again to do this again with you guys.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Keith Andrew Network. For people who want to know what my talk show is about, the whole point of my talk show is to show people that even with having a learning disability, I can still amount to something. And at the same time, I'm able to turn myself into an example for people out there dealing with any types of learning disabilities and disabilities to never give up and prove people wrong. Prove to them that labels do not dictate who you are and who you're going to be. To prove to them you can still amount to something. So that being said, hashtag break the labels. Each person has 5 minutes, and then with the 5 minutes, I like it to be more interactive. So I don't want to say like this person had more time than I did. So each person has 5 minutes. I'm going to ask a questions for both of you. Now we have box 1 and box 2. So the first one I'm going to ask is box number 1. Tell our audience a little bit about yourself and how you came to do what you do today.
Okay. Well, my name is Ray Michael Quiroga. I'm the president and the CEO of Dream Cinema Productions, which is a film corporation. And I started when I was a kid, an actor. I've been an actor all my life, and I started as an actor on Broadway, off Broadway, doing TV shows, commercials, films. And then through my whole life, I've been doing that. And then after about like maybe 15 years ago, I opened my own film company up. And now I got the film company. I'm also an actor, but I'm now the producer. And I got multiple films out there that are out right now, like Everyday Miracles is out on Netflix. I got Mansion of Blood, The Extra, Cotton, Unknowns. We just shot another movie right now called Night Mistress that's coming out pretty soon. And we're going to start casting a new film pretty quickly here. It's called The Death House. And we're in talks with Nicolas Cage and James Earl Jones. Douglas, what's his last name? Douglas, the Aquaman, not Aquaman, the Creature from the Black Lagoon guy. Douglas is his name. And Paul Abdul. So it's a big movie, you know, and that's what we do. And I've been doing that all my life. So
absolutely.
It's been a road, you know.
Hey, if you can put some good words in for me, or actually I have some ideas for you. But if you can put some good words in, I can't even speak. Yeah. Holy shit! If you can put some good words in, I would. Hey, Nicolas Cage, that would be a big name for that. Right?
Douglas Jones. That's his name. I get confused with the Jones because I got so many Jones in this darn thing.
It's true. Yeah. It was like Nickelodeon, you have Nick Jones, or actually I think that's Disney, where it's Nick Jones and you have the Jonas Brothers. Jones is the proper last name. But we're going to go over to box number 2. The same exact question.
Yes. Well, I don't really claim to be a actor. I do a little bit of production work. I have a master's in heat and air, electrical and plumbing, so I do lighting and electrical and so on and so forth. But several years ago, I started building moonshine stills. I did that as a hobby, basically, and it became a job. Excuse me. And my son and I got on National Geographic television about 6 years ago, and that sort of spurred me to go on towards acting. Since then, we've been on a PBS program called A Craftsman's Legacy with Eric Gorgeous. In between these times, we have a backlot here in Kentucky called Copper Canyon Ranch. That's where the Hatfield McCoy's movie with Christian Slater was filmed. Several films have been done there. It's basically an 1880s town, a full set. And I'm good friends with the owner, Tim Emery. And we do several movie shoots there, especially out of Nashville. So that sort of began my acting career. I played a bartender in a movie, a cowboy in another movie, so on and so forth. And now I've gotten more roles. I'm in the Washington Sleep Experiment that's coming up. I'm actually in a Martin Scorsese film right now and I can't speak about that much until the movie comes out in 2022. But it's going to be a big ride. It's with Robert De Niro and Leonardo DiCaprio. I can't give you any more information than that because that's already out there, and I'm allowed to speak that much of it. So yeah, I sort of consider myself to be like the Stan Lee of the Moonshine world. Come in there and say a few sentences and leave, like he did on the Avengers sets and things of that sort for DC Comics. So slowly but surely, I've been trying to hone my acting skills and so on and so forth. Like I said, getting involved in as many movies and films and shorts that I possibly can. And we do several here locally in Kentucky. We're sort of in between Nashville and Louisville, St. Louis, Memphis. So I can get around to a lot of these sets in 3-4 hours. And that's where we're sitting right now. I really can't speak much more about what's coming up.
No, it's really amazing. The other thing I wanted to say is I just wrote on an index card. You also mentioned you were a storyteller.
Yeah. Yeah, I like reading a lot of European lore, so on and so forth, the Viking stuff and so on and so forth like that, Beowulf and things like that. It sort of fits my character in a way.
And you also mentioned Moonshine. Every time I hear that, I'm not a big drinker, but I always heard Moonshine before.
Well, there's good moonshine, there's bad moonshine.
No, absolutely. And Ray, the other question I want to ask you is you mentioned you were a CEO. I know you hinted towards this in the beginning, but I want to go back to it. Who influenced you to become a CEO, and how did that come about? Did you become an actor first, then a CEO, or a CEO, then actor?
Well, first, let me say, I'm still stuck on the Moonshine thing. I like that. That's pretty cool. I want to come down there and check this out.
Yeah.
But yeah, I started as an actor as a kid, and then thing is, through life, I mean, I was one of the Black Power Rangers. I've been on Days of Our Lives. I've been in a lot of things. So you have to wait for people to cast you and things. And sometimes you have spurts where it goes a long time, and sometimes you work a lot. So I got tired of that. So I just started, I opened up my own film company, started producing my own stuff, and it just got bigger and bigger to the point where right now we're doing $35 million films, $40 million films. And it just grew. So then I had to create my own company and be the CEO because I got to control what's going on and make sure that all my investors make their money back. I got to make sure the movie's done correctly, distributed correctly. So I'm kind of like an overseer of everything. And because it's my neck on the line, I got to make sure everything's done right. It's because I'm playing with other people's money, not my money.
True.
I put my money in it too sometimes, a lot. But when it's more of a responsibility when you're handling other people's funds for a film. So you have to, make sure the distribution's correct. You got to do all the pre-sales, all that stuff. It becomes a real serious business, not just the acting anymore, But now I always say I got my foot in the horse's ass and he's already running. So there's no stopping it now, right?
It's true.
But I'm still looking into that Moonshine stuff, man. I want to come down to that, check that out.
Yeah, we'd love to have you at the shop and check things out. Come to our sets and so on and so forth.
Yeah.
I'm a part of Honey Creek Studios out of Hopkinsville, Kentucky, and that's run by David Rosado. You might want to look him up IMDb.
Yeah, and I'd like to check the studio out. That sounds a lot of fun over there. Really cool.
Yeah.
Moonshine Studios, hell, can't go wrong.
That's right. Well, it's sort of like a good blend. You're on the top end of everything. You're already past your learning curve, and I'm beginning. So maybe you can mentor me.
Man, I'm on the headache, don't sleep curve. Worry day and night curve. That's where I'm at. I'd rather be there doing Moonshine and going to a nice back studio. It's just, this is complicated. It gets crazy. Yes. You probably need to relax and have a drink. Oh, I need a good drink. Yes. And some relaxation.
It's funny. A lot of people say I make them drink.
You're right.
Yeah.
But that's what the Keith Andrew Network is about, bringing people together. And now you guys are going to work together. So that's why I said bringing people together, networking. But you said one thing that was interesting. Was I was looking at your Facebook. You said CEO, actor, director, I didn't even see Power Ranger. What Power? You mentioned you were the Black Ranger. What season was that even on?
Yeah, but I was on the Mega Force. There was a Mega Force season. But see, the CEO means that I'm the corporate executive officer. I'm the owner of the company. The director and actors, I'm an actor, I'm a director and the producer of the films. And the Power Ranger things, I was in Mega Force. It's on my IMDb. You look at my IMDb, the whole thing is on there. So they're all different things, you know. One's acting, one's CEO means corporate executive officer, right? It means you own your company. And it means that what it means really is that I'm the guy who takes the blunt. If everything goes well, we all did it. It's great. If something goes wrong, he did it. Go after him. Let's hang him. That's what it means.
No, I agree with you 100%. You know, it's easy when everything goes, and, you know, you can say the same thing for the Yankees or the Mets when they don't suck. Oh, what a great team. And then when the team sucks, it's the manager's fault. Yeah,
you're the bad guy. Everybody hates you. Then you win again. There, we all did it. We all did it. That's it, man. That's all it means. I said, don't think it's that. It's not all that glorious and fun. It's a lot of hard work and a lot of stress and a lot of blood and sweat and a lot of worry, you know.
I hear you. Now, this question is for both of you, and in a couple of minutes, I'm gonna open the floor up, and both of you can interact with each other. You know, you mentioned you were a director. Now, with everything that you've seen of me, have you thought about maybe working together with my show, making it bigger and better? Do you think my show would be better as a reality show, documentary? And this question's for both of you. But I'm going to start off with you, Ray.
You mean your show?
Yes.
Would it be better as a reality show?
Yes.
I think you're doing great. I think what you're doing is good. You're on the right path. Maybe if you had like you incorporated, you know, bringing people in on the set, you know, and having them like on a sit down on the stage there with you, that'll be part of it. That will make it more into a reality thing. But where you're at right now, it looks pretty good. You know, you can always grow. Everything nobody's perfect. You can always be better and better and better, right? But I think you're doing great. And just maybe bring people there and have them there with you at the same time so you can all interact in person. That would be good too. That would be kind of like a reality show.
It's a work in progress, but hey, if you guys are willing to help me out, I appreciate that.
Sure. Absolutely.
Yeah, I think it's great the way it's working right now. Even if it's just by accident, looks like you could do a format like this all the time, have a well-known or well-versed producer, CEO, and things of that sort, and have them talk with possibly prop guys, you know, artists, even casting directors, and so, you know, go through the whole gamut and have them interact with people they normally have to do daily business with through the whole range of everybody supporting the film.
Oh, you're right. You know, there was an article that came out because of the pandemic. They said NBC and all those late night shows, they're all going to be remote like this. But it's something about that in-person feel where you want to sit with the person, you want to feel the energy from the audience and from the guests. And for me, if I have a guest that's full of energy, you know, it makes the interview great. If you have an interview where the guest is kind of like, you know, have to, you know, stick your hand up their ass and make them talk and pull their strings, then it's kind of like it's going to suffer. But having this be the new normal for, you know, late nights, you know, one, that's not good TV because people stay up for Johnny Carson, you know, and Jimmy Kimmel and whoever else out there. How you guys feel about this being the new normal? Whoever wants to start.
Oh, wait.
I'm sort of at odds in on that one. I think, like I said before, I think you're doing fine with what you're doing now. I don't know what direction you're really wanting to go from there, but I'm thinking that you actually have these two people in conference working with you, maybe three people sitting down and doing this live instead of off of Zoom. I think that'd be a lot more powerful.
That's true.
I agree. I think he's right. I agree. I agree with that.
You know, for me, I want, you know, have my own your network and company, just to have like a solid message. But there's part of me like, yes, I do want to have a show, but not just a show. Like you have a weekly show, but then you can have the brand represent a couple other things like upcoming comedians, then actors. You can make it grow into something, and instead of having it be random things. But the next question I want to ask you, Ray, is, and this is for both of you, how have you guys been handling the pandemic? And do you think it has given you guys a different mindset?
Well, the pandemic has been bad in the way that it slowed down the investors, and they're all scared because they didn't know what was going to happen. But during that whole time, we've been editing. The last film I did called Night Mistress, which is it's like a comic book superhero girl, and from the 1960s, and it's she's a vigilante, and it's a comic book based type of thing. So we've been editing the movie, doing the sound, the scoring. We're developing the video game for Sony PS4 and 5, a tabletop game, the soundtrack. We got a book out right now worldwide about the movie as a novel. So we've been finishing. It gave us time to finish what we were doing. So now we're almost done with all that. We're gonna have premieres. It's gonna be everywhere, And now we're gonna start our next movies pretty soon. So for us, it actually gave us an advantage in finishing with the project we started by being able to concentrate and work on that. And we have we have some names in there, like Tracy Lee Coco. She plays Ensign Aang on Star Trek. Sharon Winters, she was the original Batgirl in Batman the TV series. Brink Stevens, who's like a Hollywood screen queen. Her husband used to be he's the guy who created the Rocketeer. What's the other?
Debbie Dutch.
Debbie Dutch, who's a Hollywood screen queen. So it's pretty good. It's gonna be a nice little cute film, a little superhero vigilante. So, and then we have a whole franchise. So the book is out already. We're almost done creating the video game, and the movie, and the soundtrack, and tabletop game, card game. So it gave us and toys, merchandising. So we thank God we got all that done right now, because to create another movie, it's a whole different world with a whole set of problems and a whole other mountain of things to do. And it's going to drive me crazy managing all that. Plus the stuff we have out already, and the residuals, and dealing with the auditionings and the distributions with all that. So it gets more complicated and more complicated, But yeah, it affected us, financially with getting the investors, but not getting the movie done, But thank God we're out of all that now.
No, I agree with you. It's always better to be, up and moving than sitting in one place. For me, I have ADD, ADHD, so I constantly need to be doing something. But, like I said, I do the whole talk show thing, and I interact with people, so that's good for my ADD. But at the same time, it's kind of like, yes, it's good to relax, but you don't want to relax too much. Then you start to get stale and start to make mistakes. And it's, how that whole thing goes. But box number 2, I'm going to ask you the same question. How has the pandemic affected you?
It hasn't affected me a whole lot, to tell you the truth, because I'm in the far western tip of Kentucky, really rural area. And people here weren't affected nearly as bad as they were in the major cities. One county would be really strict on the mask wearing and so on and so forth. And the next county over would be just like the Wild West, be nothing to it. Just walk in there with no mask, in and out of convenience stores and things of that sort. The only thing I can see that has really affected me personally with roles and getting things done and so on and so forth is that when I have been going to some of these sets, there have been compliance officers on the set, and their job is to make sure that everybody's doing the best they can to stay safe. And it was a little bit cumbersome at times, getting in and out of equipment, things of that sort. And playing the cat and mouse guy, thing with the guy over watching you, whenever everybody was gone and me and my partner were just there. Of course, we would take advantage of that and pull our mask off. But we were the only two there, and nobody around us for miles, you know. So it really hasn't done anything but maybe throw our scheme back maybe 2 or 3 months, and that's about it.
No, absolutely. You know, the whole CDC did a fantastic, being sarcastic when I say this, did a fantastic job of confusing the crap out of people. Wear a mask, don't wear a mask, you know, enjoy the July 4th. Now they're saying you should have worn the mask because the numbers are now going up. What's this new stupid variants going around? An article came out in Israel where they actually made the vaccines is at 60% effective, and people in England say it's 80%. Personally, I was thinking earlier, I go with England over, you know, because I didn't know, but I would go with England. But now I'm thinking Israel made the vaccine, I'm going to listen to them. And they're even saying, you know, wear a mask. And it's kind of like, I get it. You want the economy open. You want people to go back to work. It's good for business. But along the lines of, yes, you want things back to normal, but you don't want to drop dead from, you know. I'll give you an example. My family wanted to go to a baseball game. And when you get tickets, one side of the arena would be vaccinated and the other side would not be vaccinated. So if you're vaccinated, you don't have to wear a mask or whatever. And if you're not vaccinated, you have to wear a mask. It's okay, it's good. You know, you're just got to spread people out and social distance. But what about if you use the bathroom? What about if you go get food? You're all together. So you're not really social distancing people. In a way, it's kind of like, I get it. You want everything to go back to normal, but you have to be smart because this fall, you won't know if you had a coronavirus. You don't know if you have the flu, and the freaking numbers are going to be jumping through the roof again. So it's kind of like, I don't know, in New York City, Mayor Blasio and Cuomo are idiots. So they're like, everything open, and you don't have to wear a mask. But yet the CDC comes out and says the numbers are really bad. You should wear a mask. It's kind of like, which one is it? Is it really bad, or is it do whatever you want? You know, I'm going to start receiving the box number 2.
Oh, wow. Controversy, man. Yes, I am concerned on both venues. I'm concerned for my freedom, obviously. But I did have family members that were greatly affected by the virus. My mother-in-law, as a matter of fact, just about killed her. And now we've had to put her in a nursing home. She wasn't in a nursing home. She was actually caring for somebody else as a caretaker because she's a nurse, a retired nurse, and it almost took her life. On the other hand, you know, we've got to roll the economy like we were saying. So we've just got to take personal responsibilities. If you feel like that you're endangered, yeah, wear a mask. If you feel like you're sick, stay home.
No, I agree. You know, there's one guy, you know, I don't know if you guys saw the news, but a while ago in the spring break, yo, man, spring break, can't wait. And I asked him, what happens if you get sick? Oh, you know, you got sick, you get better. Next thing you know, this guy's like hooked up to a ventilator and saying, you know what? I was wrong. This is not a joke. Really? It had to take you hooked up to a ventilator to actually see that you were an idiot. It's kind of, I don't know. It's the whole thing. Everyone wants to compare it to the Spanish flu. No, I'm not a rocket scientist or anything. I don't think we had labs back in the 1800s. But the more you think about it, the way this is mutating, why people think this came from a lab, it's mutating not for the better, it's mutating for the worse. And that test to tell you this had to come out of a lab, because I don't think anything like Spanish flu, I was dead when the Spanish flu came out. I wasn't even born, but I don't think it got better. You know what I mean? It's you're supposed to get better when it involves. It's supposed to get weaker, and you can handle it. It doesn't evolve to a point where it's kind of like what we're doing, this thing's getting worse instead of getting better. And Ray, what do you think?
Well, I mean, all this stuff is very controversial, and everybody has an opinion, and everybody gets mad at you no matter what you say.
Yeah.
In my opinion, okay, I got a lot of medical people that I know. My opinion, this was a government world control to control people. Okay, there's been a lot of pandemics. There's been the H1N1, the influenza A and B, Ebola, all that. They didn't do any of this. So yes, there's a virus. Yes, people are getting sick like any other virus. We're humans on a planet full of viruses. I think that what they should have done is like this is not people walking around. I see people walking around jogging with masks, riding bikes with masks. I bet you these are the people that shower with a mask. It's like there's no nuclear cyanide floating in the air. So as long as you wash your hands and don't touch your face when you touch a gas pump or you touch doorknobs, you'll be fine. I mean, that's what I do and I'm fine. Just wash your hands like any other virus. But the media, especially the media, tries to control the population by fear. Wear a mask or you're going to die. The black plague's going to fly right into your lungs. That's not true. So it's just, I think it's just overdone and it's over control. I mean, this thing of shutting down things, almost California is destroyed. I mean, it's destroyed. People are trying to recover. This governor just shut everything. It's just horrible. So I didn't think they needed to go that far. Just teach people how to take care of themselves. Like with any virus, H1N1 killed more than 10 million people worldwide. Nobody wore a single mask. Nobody washed their hands. They didn't teach. People were just dropping dead. So why is this virus any worse than anything else? It's not. They're all the same. They're all bad. Just educate people on what they got to do. Don't wash your hands. Wear a mask if you want to. But leave it up to the person, right? Don't force everybody, to do something and destroy the economy because it was just it was taken way beyond what it should have been. Government's just too much control. I mean, that's just what I see and what I think, right? I mean, I know people have gotten sick. I know people that have gotten sick. They've gotten over it. And I just think that they could have handled it with so much shutdown, so much control. It's isolating humans, stay in your house. Don't talk to each other. Don't call on the phone. You're going to get it through the phone. I mean, it's just nonsense, right? So that's what I think. And now suddenly everything's open. The virus just disappeared, right? So now they say there's a variant. Okay, there's a variant, but there's a variant of every virus. And we, as human beings, we have to be around viruses to develop an immune system to it. That's why they call it herd immunity. But they're not allowing that. By you wearing a mask day and night, you're dropping your own immune system to nothing. So when you take that mask off, you're going to catch everything. So, that's what I think.
No, I agree with you 100%. In box number 2, I will give you 2 minutes to do just about catch up on what Ray was saying. Then we have to do close the show. But I want you to hear what you have to say.
I'm pretty much in agreement. Just like I stated before on the subject, you're going to have to take it to the personal level. That's all you can do. The government's not going to control everybody. It's going to leak regardless. People are not going to do what the government wants to do all the time. We're just a victim of our own circumstances at times. But something I would like to go back to answer to one of your questions previously, if I may. You mentioned that you had ADHD or ADHD. Is that right?
Yeah, I have both.
And I do too. I tell people at times I've got adult ADHD. You know what I mean? Because I can't keep my focus and I get too many irons in the pot and so on and so forth like that. And I think that would be very interesting for you to keep talking about that and finding people like yourself, like myself, and so many others who've overcome those difficulties to possibly do acting, do producing, to run a company, to focus themselves, to be able to complete a task. Maybe myself, I tell people the reason I'm probably never going to be a great actor is I have so little rote memory. I'm not going to be able to sit there and read you off 10 pages of script, but I can hammer out a paragraph for you. So if I can get that one thing accomplished and move on to 2 paragraphs and 3 paragraphs in the page, then hey, I've defeated my own disability in so many means, but may not be through rote memory, might be through word association, maybe photo association, scenery association, whatever you've got to do to get you into that role.
I agree, so 100%. Now I have a couple questions for you guys off the air. But wrapping up our interview segment, it's a real honor and privilege having you guys on the show. Looking forward to part 2. And as I always say to our fans, make sure to like and subscribe to the Keith Andrew Network. We're available on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. So as I always say, until we meet again, catch you later.